And the boys are back. Consistently inconsistent returns from a 4-month randomly. Who knows why? Life got busy. Shit goes sideways. Hiatus. But I'm back. It's your host, Colin Morris. Joined as always by Leighton Markwood, Michael Kenslow. How's it going, boys?
It's going, man. Just woke up from that 4 or 5 month coma. So let's get some sports takes.
Yeah, what happened? Does anybody know, Michael? Does it like if you here's what we should do. Everybody pick one thing that if you were to wake up from a 4-month coma right now, what would you tell that person about sports? Michael, the floor is yours.
Let's see. Some of the
also welcome back. You're in a new city.
I am in the
Salt
new
Lake
city. I am broadcasting live from Salt Lake City, Utah. I am now back in Broncos country. Let's go, boys. But all right, so I guess I'll start it off NFL-wise. We have some of the top 5 quarterbacks coming into this season have changed teams. We have Case Keenum on a new team. Alex Smith is on a new team. Kirk Cousins.
You just put Case Keenum, Alex Smith, and Kirk Cousins into top 5. We have hot takes all.
Let's start this off with a bang.
Starting it off, boys.
There's a gigantic elephant that moved from Cleveland, Ohio to Los Angeles, California, and your first word out of your mouth is top 5 quarterback and Case Keenum. We're back. We are in.
I don't care how deep your coma is. You'll hear the ESPN channel talking about LABron all day through your coma, man. You got to get at the stuff they missed.
It's true. Everybody knows.
You got
LeBron is with the Lakers, and they're about 2 years away from Western Conference Finals berth. And that's all we're going to talk about that. Michael, continue.
Yeah, but I mean, those boys are there. We have some rookies coming in, looking to light it up. We got Patrick Mahomes, technically not a rookie, but he's taking over. You know, they're banking on them. They traded Alex Smith away, the Kansas City Chiefs. What are they doing? Nobody knows. We're going to find out. We got Sam Darnold for the New York Jets. Can he save the day? Or is it going to be Ryan the Beard Fitzpatrick continuing to run the show? You know, we got a lot of quarterback news in the NFL. You guys got a boy named Teddy Bridgewater. How do you feel about that?
Teddy Bridgewater? His name's Lamar Jackson.
Oh, wait. I was thinking, shit, I was a year
off.
Teddy
Bridgewater's on the Jets. How dare you,
That's
sir.
right. I was a year
Ryan
off. That's my own bad.
Is on the Bucks. He is Jameis Winston's
Did
replacement.
he get traded to the Bucks? Apparently, I've been in a coma, dude, because I'm missing stuff.
It was like 2 years ago.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is. That's why Mike Evans is still a solid fantasy pick. And don't be deterred by Jameis Winston's absence because Ryan Fitzpatrick will need a blanket.
Yeah. Josh McCown to correct my statement for the Jets.
Josh McCown still has Teddy Bridgewater, though. Teddy Bridgewater's there as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be a battle.
And Sam Darnold. So,
yeah. Apparently
they like Sam Darnold a lot there.
Dude, you see he's not even at the start of training camp, though? I didn't read why. I just saw headlines that he wasn't there.
It's too pretty.
Pretty boy.
Too ginger. No, too ginger. Definitely just too ginger.
Yeah.
Leighton, what would you tell someone that just woke up out of a coma?
Man, I don't know if this is just heat of the moment or what, but I think I'd have to tell them on the big news coming out of Cleveland. No, I'm not talking about LABron. I'm talking about Kevin Love getting paid $120 million to be Kevin Love on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You guys smell that? I smell Blake Griffin and the Clippers last season right now. That's what I smell. I smell a lovely conversation was had between Dan Gilbert and Kevin Love, and Kevin's like, I'm the king of Cleveland now. He's like everybody else. He survived if you put, we should do this. We should make a weakest link set and put up all the Cavs players who were there at the beginning with LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin. And now who would have guessed that Kevin was the last one standing?
Last man standing.
Kevin is the last man standing.
NBA
how about this?
survivor.
4 years ago, you say, all right, who's going to be left on the Spurs? Who's going to be left on the Cavs? You think anyone is saying Manu and Kevin Love are the last on either team?
Tell me the odds. And tell me the odds on that, Vegas. Like at least 250 to 1. either way. It's true.
Ginobili, he's bringing the championship back, baby.
Well, all right. So I got one shot at this, and there's something that took over the world. It took me over. In fact, it took over my house. That'd be the FIFA World Cup, and congratulations to France for pulling off a glorious World Cup. A round of applause for France and that wonder kid Mbappe. What a kid!
He's the best.
When you get Leighton Markwood to watch more than one soccer match in a week, you are a special player, and Mbappe did it.
Man, he sold me on football so hard that I went out. I bought FIFA 18. I got started a franchise mode or whatever they call it, and I chose Tottenham, and I put in a transfer request for my boy Mbappe.
Did you get him?
Oh yeah, I got him. I paid that man as much as you could pay him.
Do you like the conversations in that game? You bring in their agent, and you're like, "Oh, what's up?" And you're like, "What can I do for you today?"
Yeah, they come in like, "We have a value for this guy at about 30 million pounds,"
and there's like, no voices.
I'll give you 215 million pounds. Give me Mbappe because that man is God.
And it's not like we've even come a long way. Like we're still in the same basic gaming, talking to people that we were in like a Mario game where you walk up to somebody in Mario and the chat bubble pops up and then their words are there. Nobody's talking in these trade interactions. It's just the text on the screen. So I have to sit there, either put a podcast in or turn some music on because I'm like, this is just boring. If you're just sitting there doing that.
They have the weirdest music in the background too.
It's like office. Yeah, it's almost like office music, but like hit office music.
I didn't know office music was a genre of music.
Oh man,
is it like elevator music but more formal?
A little jivey, yeah. There's a little kick behind it, but nothing too crazy. But the World Cup was pretty great. My team Belgium ended up getting third place.
Dude, they called out. They had a good season.
Yeah, it was a good run. I almost seemed really smart. So.
I was pretty happy to see Mexico make it into the round of 16, despite
that was a good finish
that L.
It's definitely a good finish for them.
Dude, very excited to not have Germany there.
Yeah, that's true. Great. Dude, that was one heck of a knockout though in the groups. Like,
yeah, they just it was a collective. I mean, I don't think Gaine would get on camera right now to talk about the German football team, but I would say that a lot of it was just different people coming from. A lot of people on that team are on one team, and then there's the rest of them all play for different teams. And when you bring people together for like 2 weeks beforehand and then force them all to try to play a different style, that's why you really see these teams. You get better quality. You see single players shine in the group stages because they're just in form. And you just catch a guy who's just in form, tearing it up and scoring goals. That's why you see like Harry Kane scored like 3 goals in that one match.
Oh, can you call those goals?
What?
Can you call those goals? Two penalties and like a butt shot.
A butt shot.
All right. But you know what I mean. But they're more prone to scoring. Less set piece goals in the early rounds because they haven't really come together as a team, and they get more lively as a team as the tournament goes on.
Oh, set pieces! That was just like the theme of the whole World Cup.
So much fun.
I learned what a set piece was watching the World Cup. like what is this? A chess match? A set piece? All right.
Yes, I'd like to move knight to H3, please.
Right.
I'm moving my cornerback to the left. Wait, this guy can grab him like that? What? That's a penalty. I feel like that the McDonald's commercial you saw need a second. I feel like that McDonald's commercial really made Americans look super stupid and then super racially profiled workers at McDonald's as being Latino, or a majority of them. Because one hand, all the workers in the kitchen are like watching the game, like rah, rah, rah. And then the two dudes, one black guy, one white guy, are sitting there like, "Oh, that's a penalty." And he's like, "Can't be a penalty if it's not in the box." Like they have to like tell the rules to us, and then they're like, "What's tomorrow's breakfast game? Does it matter?" Like, I get it, but come on, McDonald's. Feel a little. I don't know. I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy.
I mean, on the vice versa, how many Bud Light commercials do you see with Latino NFL fans?
I don't know. I don't watch. Like, I mean, maybe they're no. You're right. I mean, it's a bunch of old aristocratic white guys.
So, I guess advertisers have their target audiences they go for.
So, well, McDonald's went for everyone because, well, I guess McDonald's went for everyone, even though I can't remember the last time I had McDonald's, which is a good thing. Self-5.
Golf clap.
Thanks. High five. High five across the river from Guy. Thanks, babe. Always be up. Anything else for the World Cup? Anything?
Dude, I'm trying to think. I mean, like,
the United States performance was pretty weak.
It's like they didn't even show up.
My goodness.
They didn't even bother to make the trip.
I couldn't even find the game on. I was scrolling all over.
Why are these jokes so bad but so good at the same time? Because they just like roll themselves up onto the tee at the same. Oh, so good. Well, let's talk about that, guys. Did everybody see Tiger Woods almost tried to win a golf tournament this weekend? That was unbelievable,
He's back, baby.
It was refreshing.
I think I nailed the greatest comment in our group chat in a while, though, because for the past, 2-3 golf tournaments that Tiger's, been in it, Colin will send a message like, Tiger's back, boys! And then Tiger misses the cut, or Tiger, gets to Sunday and just totally shits the bed. I was right this weekend. He came in, and he shot a 67. He shot a 67 on Saturday. The 67 on Saturday really had me going. He had a couple fist bumps. The fist bumps were like, oh, yeah, all right. I had a beer before 2 o'clock for the first time in a minute. Got me going. Michael, what'd you think? Tiger coming out?
It was refreshing to see, man. Golf has been good recently just because of the how level the playing field's been. It's always fun to root for that. But Tiger was finally back. There was fist pumping. There was hype. I mean, it was refreshing to watch. And then Jordan Spieth hyped us all up again and shit his pants. That's another story. But I mean, it was a good tournament to watch, man. And I'm kind of glad somebody else won. Not somebody who's already won. It's always nice to see a new face win it. But no, man. I hope Tiger is in contention for more because it makes for fun golf watching. So
I've been really into shout out to the Podfather if he ever one day decides to hire me for a job at the Ringer. That'd be Bill Simmons. Had his buddy Joe House on the podcast last week, and they were talking. Joe was picking betting favorites of who he was picking, and the dude picked Molinari. So I had in the back of my mind all weekend, I went to sleep listening to it. So it's one of those things that just stuck with me when I got to because I wasn't even thinking about golf Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday morning it's noon, and I'm like, oh Jesus, Tiger's already finished his day. I got to get on it. And then I'm thinking oh, Molinari, stick it in there, huh? And dude just finally came through. Good for him, man. 35. And shout out Brooks Koepka, won the U.S. Open while we were gone too. Shout out to him. That dude is he's like, oh yeah, I went and pumped some iron this morning, and then by the time I get to the golf course, swinging this little club is nothing. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I bet.
Guys, you know what I think was the biggest moment for golf and for Tiger here this weekend? Not only seeing Tiger in the Sunday Red, while also having the lead at one slim point.
And then dropped it by 2 strokes in 1 hole, so whatever.
But I think him playing with Molinari, playing with the eventual winner, is huge. He hasn't been partnered with a guy who went on to take down the chip on the last round of the tournament in a long time. And I think that's kind of awakened his spirits a little bit, being able to witness that on the same number 18, right there.
It's definitely probably a good experience for Tiger. I'm pretty sure Tiger's the one guy that's out there, and I'm getting so sick and tired of post-game interviews. Like, I think we really need to do something different. I don't know how sports can change, but when somebody walks with a Tiger and the guy's like, what does it take to win a British Open? What a dumb question. Like, you got if Nick Saban or Greg or Pop walked up there, they'd be like, I gotta score a lower score,
right?
Than everybody else. But no, God bless Tiger, because he sits there and he really breaks it down. And he gives the guy like a fair comment, and I'm like, God, you put up with some stupid people,
right?
Like your whole career. And at least it's golf, so the guys who are out there are like seasoned, and it's the same guys every week, and they see them and know them, and it's not like some rando in Portland saying, oh, I heard you were going to be in a movie, LeBron. Are you ever going to bring Space Jam back? And LeBron's like, whatever.
I tell you what, though, Tiger's getting old, man. He's looking old and he's sounding old. Did y'all see that quote that he had about his kids?
No, dude.
It was, I think, in that same, post-round interview, and he came out and he basically just said, like, I hope they're proud of me. I hope they're proud of me because their pops tried so damn hard.
Dad's out here doing it for the kids.
Like, it sounded like a retirement speech. He was like, I laid my best out there, gave my best, laid it out, all out on the line. Getting old, man.
Dude, but what if in his age he acquires the phenomenon known as dad strength?
Ooh.
Because dad strength is another type of strength. Like there's like, you can be as ripped as you want, but then like you don't want to fuck with someone's dad, man.
Did you guys hear that the PGA Championship is moving to May?
I did not see that.
It is no longer going to be the last major. The British.
That's great because it's the worst major. So.
Well, next year it's going to be on Michael and I's favorite course, Bethpage Black.
Ooh, I do
really?
like Bethpage.
I feel like that should be a U.S. Open only course, but I'll take it.
It's not in the Open enough. I think you save like Pebble Beach is an Open only, Torrey Pines. I would even say Pinehurst could be a PGA. I think that would be fine. Kiowa's held it.
I think he was scheduled for 20-something.
Again?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like 2021 or 23. I'm pretty sure
I think Kiowa's doing the Women's Open next year. Kiowa Island. Yep, that's how you spell Kiowa.
This year it's going to be in St. Louis. Or Town and Country, Missouri, actually.
Interesting.
Bellerive.
Well, all right. Let's see. Guys, let's talk about these Gamecocks. Come on.
You see Brian Edwards' statement today?
I did not. What did Mr. Edwards have to say?
Brian Edwards said he wants to go down among Alshon Jeffrey and literally blanking on the other name.
Ace Sanders, Bruce Ellington.
Yeah, he said he wanted to go down among those guys in Gamecock history.
Too bad he's got Debo on the team now.
Yeah, because to do that, he needs to put some big numbers up. Because, I mean, Brian's got, what, two seasons left? Because he was a freshman last year. Yeah. So Brian's got 2 seasons. 3 if he really wants to stay, probably.
Was he a redshirt freshman?
Redshirt, so he could leave after this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got Debo this year, but
he's not.
I mean, like,
he'll stay and make the he'll be the guy.
Yeah, because if he does want to break the records versus like, draft stock. Well, I mean, breaking records is good draft stock too, but like unless he has like a stupidly good year, I don't think he leaves.
Oh, actually, no, he's a junior. He's a true junior.
Oh yeah, he played as a true freshman. That's right.
Yeah,
we know nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got 2 years left total if he chooses to stay.
I'm ready for Ortre, and then I noticed something, guys, and it's a really uncomfortable trend. And I understand that, like, plethora of like riches is like a good thing to have, just like good players on good players on good players. But we bring in like Kavion Joyner.
Dude, but Helsinki's getting all the news, man.
Exactly. So here's what I'm saying. It's another thing like where we bring in Lorenzo Nunez.
Yeah.
Or we bring, that crop of kids in between DT and Jake Bentley.
Yeah.
And there was that gap. And we were trying to fill that gap. And now there's not a gap, but we just have so many good players. And there's so many different kinds of teams that it's so confusing. Like
you look at Joyner and you're like, we got this killer dual threat quarterback.
Right.
And you're like super hyped for it. And then all of a sudden Helsinki commits. It's like, really? Now what do you do? Because it's like, aren't they scheduled to come in the same year or 1 year after?
He's already there. No, Joyner's been.
I know Joyner's there. What about Helsinki?
He's coming next season. He's not going to be there this year.
And then it's like, at the same time, we're super hyped up about Joyner, but like Jake played lights out in the bowl game.
So Jake's going to play. And then like, does Jake leave? If Jake doesn't leave, then we have two.
Year.
It is? You sure?
I think it's guaranteed. I think
if he balls out. If he balls out,
if he plays up to his skill level, it should be his last year.
Like
if he lives up to be that youngest NFL quarterback that he wanted to be from that article from a few years ago, then that's what you're looking at.
Like, what happens if Jake doesn't play at the level of the bowl game? What if Jake plays at the level of like the beginning of last season that was still fairly questionable? Do they throw Joyner in at that point? Like, you just bench Jake? Like, what do we do in that situation?
I think Joyner will definitely play. I think he'll definitely.
He'll totally get time. I mean, they tried to get time for what was his name before he switched?
Garnucci.
Yeah, no, McElwain. Before he switched to baseball and then transferred to UCLA and didn't play at all.
Nope. Cal Berkeley, where he is successfully playing baseball and baseball.
Okay. I was thinking UCLA, Josh Rosen, but no.
Bruce Ellington, dying breed.
Yeah.
Guys who could do both. But I'm excited about him. I think Debo's going to be big. We got these most stacked running backs that I think Gamecocks have had in a very long time. I'm very excited about the running backs.
Dude, we didn't even talk about Shi Smith.
Shi Smith, unbelievable.
I mean, like him in the slot with Debo and them on the outside. I mean, like, do you put Debo in the slot? Yeah, like
we got four guys. Which is why we have, from everything I've seen, we have the top-rated receiving class in the SEC.
Because didn't we just get like a 6'8" tight end as well? I'm pretty sure we picked up like a 6'8" tight end.
I mean, I know
he's not there this year because that other kid, August, is the tight end this year.
Is August
Casey
still there?
Crosby switched to tight end.
August is there. Who?
Okay. So Casey Crosby. So the two of them are going to be tight end, and I think Crosby, as of right now, is leader in the clubhouse to take the starting job.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, let's see.
Who's going to be our kicker this year?
It's
Same
still
kid, right? Still be Parker White.
Parker, whatever. That's how
good he went to Wando.
Parker White went to Wando, and then the other kid, it was like Woj.
I think he got cut.
Yeah, I think he got cut.
I think he got cut after week 1.
Okay, so let's look at this. We got Coastal at home. We got Georgia at home. We got Marshall at home. We go on the road at Vandy, at Kentucky. Then we get Missouri, Texas A&M, and Tennessee at home. We get Ole Miss and Florida on the road. That is going to be a hard stretch.
I'm going to the Ole Miss game, baby.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Nice. Text my dad. My dad might want to go to that.
I honestly think the must-win games for us. I mean, obviously Georgia is, but like in terms of like games that are super important that we don't screw up, we have to beat Kentucky this year. Like
we always manage to lose to Kentucky when we beat everybody else.
Like
cannot stand it.
The two teams we have to play this year, like play up to them, is Kentucky and A&M. We've never beat we've never beat Texas A&M. Period. At least since they joined the SEC.
No, you were right. Period. We've never beaten them.
Period.
Yeah, and then Kentucky, like, what is it, 5 years now that we've
Whatever.
lost? It's like
I think
5
it's
years now.
3 or 4 out of the last 5.
Yeah. So I think those 2 games, if we can win those games, that is like the most important stretch of the season. Like those two teams.
Watch out for Missouri too. Drew Lock is still there. That's going to be a nasty offense.
I miss Matty Mock.
Right?
James Franklin, remember those days?
Dude, James.
No, I remember Chase Daniels.
Blaine Gabbert. Wow, QBU. How about that?
How about a terrible QBU for 200, Alex? This school shares a hometown name with another school in its same conference.
But didn't one thing we got to consider? Didn't Jake Fromm break his hand this summer? I'm pretty sure he broke his hand.
It doesn't matter. They got the #1 quarterback recruit coming in behind him, so it doesn't matter.
And he should be good to go by camp.
Yeah,
like I don't think
either way. They got a 5-star quarterback freshman right behind him, or he plays.
Hey, where did Jacob Eason end up transferring, or is he still there?
I don't know.
Eason went Washington.
Oh yeah, he's scout team quarterback for Washington because I guess he has to sit out this year.
Yep.
Wow.
Sad.
And that's where it all comes into, like, do you go to the top school or do you go to a school where you can actually play?
Well, I mean, Peterson's a great coach. I mean, I've always respected Peterson as a coach, and he's been bringing Washington back. So, I mean, nothing wrong with Eason as a quarterback. Like,
no, I mean, Eason when he first decided to go to Georgia. Like,
oh, you mean just – oh, okay. I see what
you go to an oversaturated program.
All right. Yeah, you're seeing the regrets because now you're seeing South Carolina is about to be logjam with quarterbacks. Like,
although timeout because we haven't seen any of these guys play aside from Jake.
You know what I mean. Though we're gonna have so many options jammed up that are so different that some are gonna favor. You know, it's gonna be weird.
But we said the same exact thing when we had McElwain, Bentley, and Nunez. So, and
100%.
2 of those guys are no longer on the team.
100%. Good call. Well, let's move on to the NFL because this is the last weekend until February without the National Football League putting on a sporting event. And I'm just put them up.
We're back. We're almost back, boys.
We're almost back.
Dude, hey, we get to see Lamar Jackson in RG3 next week.
You ready? Because here comes the schedule for your Baltimore Ravens.
Dude, I'm buying season tickets or not season tickets. I'm getting Seahawks Broncos tickets tomorrow.
Ooh.
They go on sale tomorrow. I got to be on the computer before 10 a.m.
Hey, speaking of Seahawks, you see Earl Thomas is holding out.
Yeah,
good for Earl Thomas.
The Raiders.
Good for Earl Thomas. Like, Earl Thomas, good for him.
What are they going to win, like 5 games this year?
6.
Russell Wilson will run them to at least a couple.
I think Pete Carroll has finally reached the end of the train.
They should bring back Mike Holmgren. Or not no, not Mike Holmgren. It was it Holmgren?
It was. I mean, that's where Mike Holmgren and Matt Hasselbeck, and Sean Alexander.
Sean Alexander on the cover of Madden.
Alexander, dude. I remember those.
So we found my new chair at the Habitat for Humanity in Mount Pleasant, and they had 2 copies of Madden 2005 with Ray Lewis, with Hall of Famer Ray Lewis on the cover for PlayStation 2.
Dang, that's old school right there, dude.
I don't know. It was so random that they had 2 copies of the same old-ass game.
Right? Dude, but they totally so I don't know if y'all saw, but they released the lineup of speeches that the Hall of Fame class is going to give. They totally put Ray at the bottom so that everyone could have the chance to like go to sleep before he came on because he's going to take like 2.5 hours.
Brothers and sisters, we need to make a Ray Lewis speech drinking game.
Oh, God.
When I played with my torn tricep, in the Superdome.
I'm gonna listen to his speech, but I almost don't want to.
Have a bad day and then listen to it and need some motivation and then just feel totally lifted.
But I don't feel the same
woke.
way about Ray as I did when I was younger. When I was younger, I thought he was the greatest motivation. Now I just think he's just full of shit. But I love him on the field, but he's so damn annoying. I really believe
you gotta believe that everything you do is achievable. And you're like, yeah, I guess. I guess what you're saying isn't wrong.
I think one of my favorite little videos from when they did the America's game for the 2012 Super Bowl is when Ray was giving his speeches pregame while he was injured, and you kind of look around at who's in the huddle, and there's a fair number of guys who are yeah, rah rah rah. And then you go to Joe Flacco, and he's just kind of looking around who the fuck is this dude? Can we just get on the field? That's really what he had.
So last night, I just happened to turn on the Fox Sports app, and FS1 was running a documentary on the 2017 Ravens. And I I
of all the teams,
17?
Last year's Ravens.
Please let me continue.
The greatest 9-7 team to miss the
This is what I'm talking about
of all time.
Is this a joke? I'm sorry, I sat there and made Guy and I watch it all, but then it ran right into a Super Bowl versus the Niners one, and it was a whole documentary with Joe Flacco and Ray Lewis mic'd up the entire game. And the best two parts of it were at the end, where Joe Flacco is standing on the sideline and he looks over his shoulder at Marshall Yanda, and he says, "Okay, if the returner breaks it, run out and tackle him, and it'll just stop the play, and they won't score. I don't know what the rules are, but I know they won't score a touchdown. I know that it will end." And then he's standing behind, ready to go up to receive the MVP award. And he looks over at someone, and he gets whispered something in his ear "Yo, they're gonna give you a car." And he looks over at just he's so shocked that he's about to get a car for being MVP. And I'm like, have you not watched the Super Bowl for the past 5 or 6 years? Do you not watch the end? I guess that's probably hard, actually.
I feel he probably doesn't.
Yeah, you're right. Because I remember when Eli Manning got that hybrid Escalade.
Didn't Joe get a Corvette or something?
No, he got a truck. I think it was a Ford F-150 or something.
It was a hybrid. It was a hybrid truck.
Because one of the recent years was definitely a sports car. I'm trying to think of which one it was.
Probably Brady.
Here's your new truck that's coming straight out of your new salary. All of your tax-paying dollars.
Well, Michael, what's up with the Broncos? Do I need to draft Royce Freeman in fantasy mock drafts?
Dude, I've been hearing a lot of juicy things about Royce Freeman, but it could also be one of those hit or miss ones. You never know how the dude's gonna play as a rookie. I've seen basically everything says he's totally high upside pick with, if your expectations are low going in, totally high upside pick. But defensive wise, we should be pretty good defensive wise. We got Bradley Chubb to go along with Von Miller on the line and Derek Wolfe in the middle.
That's gonna be
a pretty disgusting line. And then we added what is his name? Sua Cravens from the Redskins.
Yeah,
finally wants to play football again.
Yeah, we'll see if his head's right.
So if he actually tries to play at his potential, our secondary should hold up just as well as it has in the last couple seasons.
Are you going to beat the Ravens in week?
Yeah, I was going to say, what week do we play?
3?
We played that early? Week 3? Is it?
I'm glad they're making that a regular occurrence.
Baltimore.
It's in Baltimore this year.
In Baltimore.
Those are always good games. I'm glad that it's an annual thing almost now.
So, can we just look at this Ravens schedule for a second, guys? I'm gonna put it up on the. I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
List it out, dude.
I'm just gonna screen share this.
Not easy, man.
Yeah, I guess we can.
While you're doing that, have y'all seen the? Do y'all watch Last Chance U at all?
Yes, I have watched Last Chance U. I watched the first season of Last Chance U.
Oh my God, you've only seen the first season?
Yes.
The second season is great.
Whoa, screen session!
Probably the first season is the best, but I really enjoyed. They just released the third season, and it follows a different school now in like the middle of Kansas. But I just enjoy, watching them follow those guys who have hit so many different lows in their lives and careers, and that's where they end up.
The only one I really saw that was moving a good bit was that kid from the first season. That was the quarterback that went to Auburn.
Well, he actually last year he transferred, and he was a receiver for Lane Kiffin's Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
Lane Kiffin ended up signing like 4 kids from that series from Eastern Mississippi.
Okay, so we start the season off. Bills at home.
Win.
Watch out, dude. That's CJ McCarron you're talking about.
Shut up. All right. At the Bengals.
Win.
Broncos, we'll call it a draw. We'll hold that one off.
It depends on that one. Depends on if Case Keenum can actually play football and which defense is going to play better early.
You just called him a top 5 quarterback, literally 39 minutes ago.
Yeah, dude. Still depends on if he plays well or not.
Okay. At the Steelers, that's all dependent on. If our offense is clicking, I can really see that game going in our favor.
It's a Sunday night at Pittsburgh. We're going to lose in overtime by
45 to 42. It's going to be the one night that their defense doesn't show up all season and our offense actually shows up, but their offense shows up more. That's going to be. But that if we can win that game, it sets a strong precedent for the rest of the road trip at the Browns and at the Titans. I really like that. I don't like playing the Titans 2 seasons in a row, though. They scare the hell out of me. Saints at home. That should be a good game. I don't think I've ever seen Drew Brees play in Baltimore. I don't know how he's going to react there. I feel like
isn't he notoriously bad on the road, or at least the Saints?
The Saints are because it's October. It'll be 4:05 in Baltimore. Leighton, what's the weather like?
With October 21st, I mean, it's pretty mild. It's like
about 60, 62 degrees outside.
Yeah, and it'll get into probably the 50s. But Maryland's also kind of weird, so it could be 70. It's also snowed on. It snowed during my homecoming, my junior year, and that was around the same time. So you really can't tell.
All right, and then at the Panthers, so that's a big one.
I feel like that's a loss.
Cam at home was a different Cam.
He is. It all depends on if that team's clicking. Torrey Smith's on that team now. I think Torrey Smith's going to have a little extra umph in his step to ball out against us. I see us pulling it out. Justin Tucker field goal. Graham Gano gets a chance but misses. Ravens win 23-21.
That sentence was like the most Graham Gano thing of all time, though.
Wasn't it, though? And then we have the Steelers. But, Leighton, can we just talk about this? We're going to have the Steelers, both games done before Week 10.
Not very happy about that.
I'm not either, because then it's like
the ultimate December football right there. How are you going to take that away from us?
And then make it a 1:00 game on CBS? The rest of our games are at 1:00. We have one night game. We have 2 night games.
Yeah, and I don't think that game is late enough in the year to get flexed either.
No, it's not. I think after week 12 is when you start flexing.
You flexing on anyone. But
yeah, we have.
I am super pumped to maybe go. I'm super pumped to maybe go to the Falcons game. I'm super psyched about that. Tickets are only like $50, and they'll only go down.
Bengals, Raiders, Falcons, Chiefs. That's Saints,
Bucks,
Panthers,
at Chargers.
Wait, Titans,
TBD.
Saints, Panthers.
Why is at Chargers TBD? Oh, that's Christmas. That's Christmas. They haven't made the Christmas schedule yet.
That's a tough stretch, man. Week 6.
Yeah, starting at the
is pretty
Titans, going
nasty.
down. Yeah.
Titans, Saints, Panthers, Steelers, Bengals, Raiders, Falcons, like playoff team, knocked us out of the playoffs last year team.
They
Good
just
enough
had
that, you know, like,
yeah, they just had a down year last year for the Raiders.
right, like Falcons were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Chiefs, like, we'll see, could be a playoff team. If the quarterback clicks, it's the same team, you know.
And who knows where the Bucks are going to be?
Who knows? Like, Jameis could be on a tear at that point if he gets, you know.
He might not even be on the team.
Yeah, didn't he get suspended for 4 games?
He got suspended 4 games. He's going to be on the team, dude. He's second pick in the draft.
No, I think they would be wise to trade him, but
to
they're not going to
where?
cut him, but not this year at least.
To where?
The Jets for Teddy Bridgewater.
That's not bad, actually.
Because only the Jets would make a trade like that.
No, he'll go to like a team that has like a veteran quarterback, but not like maybe like the Saints. Maybe somebody who will take maybe the Patriots. Oh, the Patriots would totally make a play for Jameis.
I don't need
Winston.
to see Jameis Winston become Jesus in New England.
Oh my God.
I don't need to see that.
That's what's happening. They're going to trade a third round draft pick for Jameis Winston.
And it's going to be Jameis Winston and Sony Michel ruining our lives forever.
Oh, no. All my hopes and dreams for the NFL just got crushed.
And that's for sure happening.
I know, right?
Go ahead, write it down.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, write it down. I'm super excited for football to come back. Fantasy's coming. We're starting a keeper league this year. I kind of know what that means. How many guys do we get to keep, Commissioner?
That's up for debate.
What's the usual number, Commissioner?
I think the default is 5. I think we're going to look at anywhere between 3 and 6.
I like 3. But
5 is also a lot of guys, you know?
Yeah.
5 is a lot of dudes.
And
5 is like almost
that'll
an
mean
entire
next year
starting
when we
roster.
draft, the first round will really be the 6th round. Like the talent will not be there. It'll be rookies. It'll all be rookies.
Debo. Over under on how high Debo goes in next year's draft.
Dude, I mean, he'll be first round.
No, for our draft.
Oh.
At that point, if it's a keeper league, like Debo ends up on the Ravens, and we're like,
dude, someone would throw a first down on Debo. Someone who's already got stacked quarterbacks in a keeper league or something like that, they'll throw a first on Debo.
Probably John. I could see John. John's like, I got this. So who are you guys looking at? So give me a guy maybe entering his second or third year that after this year you're like, I need that guy. For me, it's Alvin Kamara. If I'm grabbing a guy for the future that's going to be a bell cow, like you look at this Saints team, Alvin Kamara is going to be there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say on the wide receiver side, you're looking at like Stephon Diggs as someone who wasn't necessarily top 5 pick and is now going to be top 5 pick in this fantasy draft in terms of wide receivers, not overall, but wide receivers. I mean, that's also assuming that Kirk Cousins has the same production with him that Case did last year.
You can only assume.
Yeah, that's all assumptions, and we all know what assumptions do, man. Make an ass out of me and you.
I feel like you got to go one of those second-year running backs, like whether it's
McCaffrey,
whether it's Kareem, whether it's McCaffrey, whether it's
I'm taking Todd Gurley. Like if I can get Todd Gurley, like I don't care. I'll trade anything. Like to me, it's looking like this is about to be Todd Gurley's league for the next 4 or 5 years. And what it's looking to me like is that these wide receivers are starting to get a little cocky, and they're wanting to get paid more, and it's going to start affecting how the teams are looking at wide receivers. And right now, the running backs are going to be a more affordable commodity for teams going forward. I mean, $45 million guarantee for a running back for Todd Gurley. That's the highest ever. Got to shout out to him. But I mean, he's only 23. Like, come on.
Where did Nick Chubb go? I forget who drafted him.
The Browns. So he's with Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson, Nick Chubb.
Probably not first round pick.
Yeah, because
I did a mock draft the other day. He was doing like a 6th or 7th, I think, is when he went.
Yeah, he's going to be low.
There's a lot of people.
Where was Sony Michel going? Like 2nd, 3rd?
About 5th.
He's really going that low? I mean, like, he's probably starting for the Patriots. I mean,
he's a Patriot back.
Yeah, it's like you can't, like, if you want to throw that risk out there, go right ahead. But it's like, I'd maybe touch him if he was there in the 9th.
For all we know, Rex Burkhead is going to run for 900 yards and 8 touchdowns next year.
Right.
Like,
well, it's all interesting. It's all, I don't know. The fantasy game this year is going to be super interesting with the holdouts and how everything's going to turn out. You got to look at more than just if the guys are getting on the field. You got to look if they're even showing up to practice right now.
How early?
Let's talk about Julio for a second.
Yeah, that's what I was leading into. I mean, is this the right thing?
They literally just came to an agreement last year or 2 years ago. I think from the Falcons' perspective, like, I think it's a little bit ridiculous to start looking at a new contract for him when they just agreed to terms. Like, I understand, Julio, you're getting underpaid in the current market. Like, guys that don't have your talent and don't have your stat line are making a lot more cash than you are. But it's also like, you signed the deal 2 years ago. Like, that's just kind of what happens. Like, you can't keep restructuring your deal every year just to keep up with the market value. That's not how the business works. And I don't think the Falcons have other guys that they got to pay whose contracts are going to come up much quicker than Julio's is going to come up.
And we're looking at last year, the Eagles won because their money was so well dispersed. That team was stacked. Like, when you look at it, the depth at every position, obviously starting at the top with quarterback, you're able to come out on top. You lose your guy, Carson Wentz, in December. Oh, okay, Nick Foles is just going to step in here and win. Like, I guess. Like, no, what other teams could have done that in the NFL? Can anyone? Who's got 2 quarterbacks that could have ridden them to a Super Bowl?
Jimmy G before he got traded.
Right. But he got traded. So, like, not even the Patriots. Tom Brady goes out, that's not the same team. Well, the Browns, if their quarterback went out, it's probably the same team.
Just ripping on them, man.
Sorry.
Watch out for the
You know what the funny part is? We're going to lose to the Browns this year. I'm already giving the Browns one of our games this year.
Tyrod Taylor is going to come out on a tear. Like,
oh, and Leighton, you would have appreciated this in that same documentary. That throw that Flacco made off the back foot at the beginning of the second half to Pitta on the sideline, and Pitta went falling out of bounds for the catch.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh turns to Tyrod and says, "You could have done that. You know that." Like, I'm like, yeah, all right, talking him up. He knows. He knew the storm was coming. And now it's here. Like, Tyrod's got Jarvis Landry. He's got Josh Gordon. He's got Josh Gordon. He's got Nick Chubb, Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson. Like, that's a lot of toys. That's more toys. No Joe Thomas. You wish you had Joe Thomas.
Oh,
that's
that
the most toys.
nice.
That's the most toys Cleveland's had in a long time.
I know. He literally retired 1 year too early. Like, this team.
He was so embarrassed about missing the one game.
Yeah, he was like, the streak's over. It's over.
It's just it.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
But
one injury. That was too much.
I don't think the Browns will do it, but I think they have the talent to make a wild card berth.
That's a bold statement.
I don't think they will do it, but I really think they could
I
win
can agree with you. The paper says it could happen.
This is going to be a good stats, bad team kind of guy.
Yeah.
for the
Tyrod
whole
Taylor
team.
is a sneaky underrated quarterback. Hugh Jackson is a very good play caller. I look for the offense to be pretty electric.
Depending on bye weeks, I would be looking for a Deshaun Watson, Tyrod Taylor fantasy pairing if I was a smart person this year. That sounds like a solid 1-2 punch for me at the quarterback position. Because Tyrod can go up against some soft defenses and just run. And Deshaun is going to light people up this year as much as it hurts me to talk so good about him.
I don't know. Now that teams have some tape on him, I'm curious to see how the sophomore slump comes into factor.
Well, I hope it doesn't because I'm going to pick him in fantasy.
You can have
well,
all the
I said I was going to
guys
pick Jameis last year.
Yeah, and I wasted my pick on Jameis.
I talked him up, and then Leighton was like, I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him.
I was real high on Famous, man. Real high.
We all were. Any final thoughts on the league?
Dude, I'm just ready for it to get going.
Yeah. Ravens, Bears, next week. Hall of Fame game.
It's really just kind of snuck up on me, to be honest. And I'm glad because usually in past years, this time of year, I'd be like, when is football coming? Like, give me some football. Working in baseball has, like, made this the busiest time of my entire life.
Right.
So football just kind of like comes out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, we got football on Thursday? Let's go.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Wasn't so long ago that me, you, Goman, and Luke went to watch the Eagles preseason game at Wild Wings. And we were like, oh, here come the Ravens. Nope.
Yikes.
So, speaking of baseball, on to the major leagues. Guys, it's July. We're on the other side of the All-Star break. The Braves and the Phillies are fighting for first place in the NL East. The Dodgers are somehow a game and a half ahead of the Diamondbacks. And the Rockies are only 2.5 games behind the Dodgers. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's your typical NL West right there, dude.
And the Giants are trying to make noise. And God bless the poor A's that are just out there churning out a great season, 58-43, a better record than all but the Cubs in the National League, and they're in third place in their division. Like,
and they're going for it too.
And they're really going for it. Yeah, then they got Familia. Like,
they got Brad Hand.
Let's see. Go A's, go.
Wow.
Can we get a go A's from the couch?
Let's go, Oakland.
There you go. Got to go Oakland from the couch. How about them O's, though? You guys just became a factory of trades, just trying to pawn off all your assets?
I mean, we're just starting from scratch. Like, it's had to hit the reset, man. It's funny because we bought pretty big time in the off season. Like, we went after Alex Cobb, who was coming off a few strong years in Tampa. He's been electric to about a 6.7 ERA. We signed Andrew Kashner, another like pitching prospect, or not prospect, but a guy who's been a starter in this league for a long time. He's been horrible as well. We tried to bring Colby Rasmus out of retirement, which worked for a couple months until he sucked so bad that he decided to go back home. And now here we are trading away maybe definitely the best player in Orioles history since the great Cal Ripken Jr. And now he's gone after 6 seasons. And now Zach Britton, the former best closer in baseball, is gone as of an hour ago.
About an hour and a half.
And Adam Jones is soon to follow. So that's really going to break me down when Adam Jones is not an Oriole. I saw something that really made me happy, and that was we trade Adam Jones to a contender. He gets his World Series ring, and then he comes back and signs with us in the offseason and finishes his career in Baltimore. I would love that. Will it happen? No. But Boy, would
You're
I
looking
love
at a
that.
similar situation to what the Braves had a few years ago. Braves trade Justin Upton. They trade Craig Kimbrell. They trade Andrelton Simmons. And in return, now looking at this beautiful fresh crop of Braves youngsters led by Freddie Freeman, the only surviving member of those teams, plus Julio Tehran. Tehran and Freeman are like the only surviving members. So, maybe hold on to Jones. Maybe don't be so quick to get everybody out. Maybe keep a little bit of that old school around to teach the new guys the way it's done. Last thing you want to do is clean house and just have a whole fresh group. I don't think that works out too well in baseball. How about the Rockies, Michael?
Dude, the Rockies started hot, as the Rockies always do. This is how the Rockies go, man. They start hot. They start out the season normally like plus 15 games before they lose or something. Maybe not 15, but they get off hot, and then they just slump. And the slump happened, and then we finally won like 7 straight until the Diamondbacks beat us in our 3-game series last week. But yeah, like you said, we're 2.5 games back from the Dodgers right now, which the NL West is always just a cluster, man. I mean, what? The Giants are 5 games back, and they're in 4th in the NL West. I mean,
that is correct.
It's like you never really know who's going to take the NL West. You can almost guarantee there's going to be two wild card teams from the NL West again if they keep playing the way they are, like there was last year with the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. But I mean, we'll see how we go down the stretch. I mean, they got to play up to the guys ahead of them like they didn't do last season, because I mean, they could have taken the West last season until the Dodgers went on their joyous ride that ended horribly to the NL West's love. But
you're in for another big time ride. Manny is gonna really separate that team from the pack, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how the Dodgers give it up, but it's gonna be fighting for another wild card spot, which is kind of like what I expect to be doing with the team. I mean, we didn't make any big improvements from last offseason, but we didn't necessarily lose anybody. So that's
watch out for that Brew Crew, baby.
The Brew Crew. You think? The Milwaukee Brewers?
They're nasty, dude. Their farm teams are nasty. Did we lose Colin?
No, sorry. I was just reading stuff.
Frozen in statue mode. Okay.
Yeah, I was frozen in stats mode. I was looking up stats mode. I was looking up stuff.
Really, though, the Brewers, like, they are going to be something for a long time, man. Like, being a part of their AA team and watching the talent that we have guys who should be in the majors right now, but they're not, because the Brewers' outfield farm system is absolutely ridiculous. So on the major league team, you have Broxton, you have Ryan Braun, and you have Lorenzo Cain. No, I'm sorry, you don't even have Broxton because you have Yelich. So Broxton is on the bench there. He's a starting caliber outfielder. Then the AAA team, you have 3 guys who should probably be playing. You have Domingo Santana, who hit like 30 home runs last year for the Brewers, and he's in their AAA team. And then you have on the Shuckers, you have 2 guys who are pacing their league in home runs, are just absolutely ridiculous. Corey Ray is like the number 5 prospect on the Brewers team. But basically what I'm saying is this team is stacked and they're going to be here for a while. I do think they're going to make some moves before the trade deadline comes, and some of these guys are going to be playing on other teams and actually breaking it into the majors. But the Brew Crew, man, they've got a hell of a farm system.
Well, we'll look forward to the rest of the baseball season. Hopefully the Braves can turn it around, don't fall in August, and they'll just scrape by and make the playoffs so I can watch the playoff baseball and have some fun. That's it for regular sports talk. A little bit of news in the world of the electronic sports world. ESPN and the Overwatch League signed a massive contract or Disney, not ESPN, but Disney and then ESPN through them. Overwatch League is going to be broadcast on ESPN, ESPN2, Disney Channel, and Disney XD, and all of its subsidiary, and ABC. The Overwatch League Grand Finals, the first finals for this season, we've been talking about it for the past year. They sold out the Barclays Center, and I think that's super impressive. Actually, they got the guy from that Mad Money guy was talking about Overwatch League on CNBC the other day, and I thought that was super impressive. He was like, we can't even sell out the Meadowlands for a Giants game. These guys sold out the Barclays Center for a video game tournament. So, pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty awesome. Layton, you got anything? You think it's pretty impressive these video games are coming at it like this right now? I mean, we're in Fortnite's world right now, but
yeah, I mean, kind of like I've said in the past, like I'll never attend one of these events and I'll never watch one of these events, but like more power to you. I mean, it's clearly a money-making business entity, and it clearly has an enormous fan base. You're selling out Barclays. Like, there's some A-list.
What was smart?
Sell out Barclays.
What was smart was that they've been only having these games in this Blizzard arena in Los Angeles the entire season. So this is the first time all season these teams are going to be playing anywhere else other than Los Angeles. So this is the first time that anybody on the East Coast is going to get a chance to see these teams. And it just so happens that it's Philadelphia Fusion playing the London Spitfire. Michael.
Senor. Bruh.
All right. Let's get nerdy for a second. Those snipers for Philadelphia Fusion, Carpe and EQO, are...
They're nasty.
Nasty. They're like, oh, you wanted to peek around that corner? Sorry, dude. I knew you were coming that way anyways. And I didn't, like, whatever. Like, these Widowmakers, unbelievable. Talk about London. London is like the most stacked team, and they have the highest. If we're going to talk in normal terms, Layton, you could say that London got a very high ceiling, and if they play up to it, it's higher than anybody else's ceiling.
Yeah.
And over the past 2 or 3 weeks, they have clicked.
Yeah, because they have reached that ceiling. The radar a little bit near the end of the season.
They won the first set. They won the first stage.
Won the first stage.
Stage 1 champions, and then they fell off.
But no, in the playoffs, they turned it on, dude.
It's been
playoffs.
I mean, they've been on playoffs.
These playoffs have been pretty intense.
We're talking about playoffs. No, dude, but they actually have been pretty intense in the playoffs. I mean, they made from what I saw, they were making runs through the playoffs, like just straight winning out everything. And I mean, like you said, it really depends on if they're playing like this in the final. You know, it's like they play in LA in the same arena every day,
right?
You know, can they keep the success they've had the last couple of weeks, going all the way across the country, new environment, playing on a bigger stage, actual, like, I mean, I'm sure the Blizzard Arena does sell seats, but it's probably like
it sells out every week. It sells out every
what
day.
Is it, like only like 100, 200 people though? Like it's
like 300 people.
It's pretty small. So like all of a sudden you got a couple thousand people.
You got
couple
25
watching you.
Sold out.
Yeah, a couple thousand people watching you. Yo,
is there a New York team in this playoff tournament?
Yeah. No, there were, though. The New York Excelsior, they lost in the last series to make it into the finals. They did not make the finals.
So there is no home screen advantage.
Nope.
No.
Home screen. I like that.
So real quick aside for that, there actually is, like, in terms of League of Legends, which is a little more established than Overwatch, there actually are, like, regional fan bases starting to form. Like TSM, when Irvin and I went to Madison Square Garden for Worlds in League of Legends for one game, and for the finals in another season, TSM fans, they're like Pittsburgh fans. They're everywhere, but like New York City is like TSM Central. So it was beyond belief how many TSM fans were there. But like the other teams seem to be more West Coast regionalized. Obviously, they're not spread out like actual.
Well, Cloud9 is the Bay's team, which was always weird to me that San Francisco Shock didn't get Cloud9. Like this would be San Francisco. Like, this would be San Francisco in the playoffs right now.
Like you'd think,
like
but
in
no,
the finals.
But Cloud9 gets the Spitfire in London.
The London team, like
I don't know. Jack, what are you doing buying the London team? What are you doing?
Golly,
C9 Jack, man, always making weird stuff. But no, I mean it really depends on how the teams perform. I mean, if you get this young hot team coming in, do they travel well? Can they play on the big stage?
I'm picking London. You want to know why? Because they all wear matching off-white UNC blue Air Jordan 1s to play Overwatch in. And when you look good, you feel good, you play good.
I am also taking I'm also taking the
I'm taking Cloud9. Yeah,
because I'm a Cloud9 fan first and foremost, and second, I mean, you got to go with the organization that knows esports. I mean, they have a team in basically every esport there is. I mean, they understand how it works. Sure. They understand. They have the coaching. They have sports psychologists behind them, like NFL teams and stuff do. I mean, they have everything, and they already have that infrastructure backing the players up. So I just think they're a better built team. I mean, in year one, you kind of got to go with who knows. Like, yes, you need the talent, but having that backbone to support you, I think will help them out.
Does this go to Sunday, or are we only going to see Friday, Saturday series? Do we get a full 3-round match?
I think we will. I mean, I think it'll go full 3 rounds, especially since it's such a new. It's the finals. It's going to be hyped. Is it raining there? That's loud.
Yeah, right. All right, we can wrap this up because this is going to be loud. Yeah, I think it goes. Philly wins the first series, then London wins the second, and then London wins the third. I think.
Yeah, I want it to go 3 because it'll be hype. But I do think it will go 3. Yeah. Obviously,
so it's just Philly and London.
Yep.
Well, I mean, this is the finals, the playoffs.
This is the finals. So, like, we've been playing playoffs for like 3 weeks. So, yeah. So they've been playing matches.
Give me the full names of each team.
The Philadelphia Fusion and the London Spitfire.
And the Spitfire being the airplane from the British Air Force.
Good golly, you got to go Fusion here, baby. I mean, I know it's not alliteration, but it's freaking close. Unless they spell it with a PH. Like, you cannot go Spitfire. Are you kidding me? Where do they make this name at? Like a random rap name generator?
Who do you think you are, Childish Gambino?
Fusion don't come out with this championship, then I just don't know anything about esports.
Okay, well then that's all we have to say about that this week.
Leighton Markwood with the most honest point in the
honest take. Write it down right now, boys. Any final words? What are we looking forward to this week? For me, I'm going to Miami this weekend. Going to see Manchester City play Bayern Munich in the Hard Rock Stadium.
That's sweet.
Home of the Dolphins. And I've been watching all the diners, drive-ins, and dives to get all the best restaurants to go to.
Ooh, solid pickup right there.
One-way trip to Flavortown.
Dude, just give me some good vibes my way so I can hopefully get in the front of the queue for Broncos tickets tomorrow morning.
There you go. Good luck.
That's what I'm looking forward to this week, and then obviously football to come.
Where are you going for Broncos tickets? You going like official site, or you going the secondary market here?
I mean, they release the official like single game tickets on Ticketmaster is like the official where they get released. So I'm attempting to get straight from the source. If not, then obviously I will have to go elsewhere and then try and find a resale, which is going to suck because it's going to be like $300.
Damn. Yeah. Well, guys, we're back. We did it. And it was an hour and 10-ish minutes. Like, that's not bad. Like, come on. Look at us.
For a comeback after a long hiatus.
We're here.
Wake up from your coma, boys.
Because we're back. Football's back. The boys are back. CI Sports coming at you. Got a lot of stuff coming from us. Maybe I'm just going to hop on here, do some videos. If something comes up in the day, just hop on, talk about it. We're going to be coming at you. Might even start breaking up these videos. I've thought about this. We might break them up into segments and then repost them as individual segments. So you could just have like a 5-minute video of us talking about the Ravens. Be like, us on the Ravens this episode. Bam, ship it out. Who knows? Things to talk about, not live on the air. So, for Michael, for Leighton, For me, it's Colin. CI's back, and we're better than ever. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.